Hello everyone, welcome to this new channel. And this is the channel dedicated to all the games I play online and hopefully analyze them. And my personal goal right now is to break into the 2400 rating on Blitz. Hopefully we will try to play the rapid as well. This channel is generally about my personal growth as a chess player, and this account, as it grows, we try new openings, and maybe one day I will also try to analyze some other games related to, some other online games and stuff. So, yeah, now, first of all, this particular game is the fifth game after I made this new account on chess.com. As you may know, after you sign up in a chess.com as a new ID, you have to complete 5 games, and after which you will gain a suitable rating. I won all 5 of those, and I got the rating of 2050 something on Blitz right now. So, yeah, this is the fifth game. It's against 2018 rated opponent, and I think it is quite an instructive one. So, let's dive right into it. I played e4, and after c5 by my opponent I played knight f3, e6. So this is the Sicilian French variation, or I call it the Paulson variation. And after d3 it's the King's Indian attack, uh, mastered by the great Bobby Fischer. And I actually like this queen e2 idea in it. You will see what I mean by that. So d5, generally in this position knight b to d2 is played, and a lot of game has been continued. But when you play knight b to d2, you have actually committed yourself to the king side attack basically wholeheartedly. And if you play the move which I played, queen to e2, you can actually retain some center counterplay with this pawn to c4 and knight to c3 idea, which you will see in this game. So knight to f6 by my opponent, it's most natural move. We will follow the very suitable King's Indian setup. It's very common after bg2, castles, castles, and after knight to c6. Here, um, the main King's Indian move e5, and after knight to d7, everyone in this position would play like knight to d2, bishop to f4, h4, rook e1, stuff like that, even c3. But here, if you are familiar with queen a2, queen's Indian, then there is this idea of pawn to c4. The idea is quite clear. White wants to take the pawn and play pawn to e6, blast open the center when this bishop becomes a monster piece against this bishop on c8. And well, if you do not pay attention, I will just capture and play knight c3 also attacks the pawn. And if you, let's say, block the center with pawn to d4, this is quite bad, because now after bishop f4, knight d2, knight e4, or even h4 first and then bishop f4, white gains a very clear cut attacking idea on the king side, while black's queen side play is actually quite slow now. So that is psychologically just better for white. But yeah, that is what white black generally do. In this position, knight b6 is also a nice idea actually to recapture the pawn with knight. However, queen to c7 played. Now at this point I was actually doubting the idea which I played. I played bishop to f4, which by engines think is quite a good move. It actually sets up a trap. Now, I was actually very much thinking about the move pawn takes pawn first, and after pawn takes pawn, again e6 and knight c3, one of those two. Let's say e6, and if you capture, I capture, check, and after rook f7, well, knight c3 looks really powerful to me. There might be bishop f4 first and then knight c3, but yeah, knight c3. And it looks really powerful to me. The pawn's hanging, bishop is coming to f4 with a hit on the queen. Your entire position is very much in ruins. Even though the advantage is very low in human play, it would be very hard to defend. But I just played bishop f4. The threat is if you play something, I mean, my opponent closes the center. If my opponent plays anything else, let's say e6, well, it's a remove, then I have this threat of pawn takes, and e6, opening the bishop's attack to the queen and pawn attack to the knight. And I'm gonna win a piece. So that's the tactics after bishop to f4 that I prepared. So d4 comes out of this tactics because I cannot take the pawn anymore. But it gives me a free hand on the king side. So now I can develop the knight to d2. And your queen side plays very much in win right now. So okay, bishop to d8 is a, I think is a very attractive plan, but also a very faulty plan because now this bishop leaves the job of defending the dark squares around the king. And my opponent's idea is to put the bishop here to attack the pawn. But yeah, as you know, it's King's Indian attack. And in King's Indian, if your pieces are not defending king side, you're basically more or less getting checkmated. H4 is a technically normal move in this position. Sometimes H5, H6 comes really fast. Rook to E8, I don't really understand this move. Uh, I just don't. A3, I think before A3 I could just, I mean, A3 is a preparatory move. I thought I could sacrifice a pawn with pawn to B4. Idea being, let's say pawn to B4. Let's say you play H6, B4, pawn takes, and if you take with the knight, I can take the central pawn on D4. And now I have a pawn mass in the center of the board. So that's quite good for white. Borderline winning. Okay, so that's the idea of a3. So a5 played by my opponent, which makes sense. And here with a3, a5 included, now black's counterplay with b5 is long gone. Like a6, b5 idea is gone. My queen side is just very solid and now. And now I can just start developing. Rook to e1 is a preparatory move. Maybe not needed, but it's a blitz. And also I'm like really not using any timer on clock. It's 3-0 blitz. I barely used any time right now. Okay, rook to e1. It's move number 14. My opponent played queen to b6. Idea is he's playing the c7 square, also hitting the pawn on b2. Knight to e4. Knight is very nicely centralized, hitting at d6 square. So knight d6 comes, then it's strategically lost for black. So bishop to d c7. Probably not really stopping knight b6, but okay. Here I was very much interested in playing knight to f6 check, but it kinda doesn't work because the idea is, uh, my idea would be if you take this pawn, I really wanted to get this in, so like this something, but after knight takes f6, I think there is just no attack here right now. Even though I have open file, it takes a lot of time to get your pieces there. Other than that, I have to prepare something. So I went on and to prepare this idea with knight to g5. Um, Probably not the best idea. You could hit the knight with h6 right now, and I have to go back to h3. Um, and yeah, my idea was now queen d2 and bishop takes h6 will come. This knight will help from f2, f4 to h5, and this knight is jumping to g5. This bishop jumping to e4. This rook jumping to e4. It should be a automatically winning attack right now. And I mean, your queen is too far side, your bishop is too far side. This bishop is not even a bishop anymore. This rook is a spectator. This knight is the only piece which can defend your position, but that's the only piece which is defending the position. White is quite better. White's attack will break through. And apart from everything else, like a piece sacrifice, there is simple g4 g5 idea. So that is just there. And what my opponent played is even worse. They have to play a6, but they played queen to a7. Now, I understand why queen to a7. They want to play pawn to b5 at some point. Let's say rook b8 and b5. But what are these pieces doing? You just cannot do this, right? As you can see, it's completely winning for white. So pause the video, try to find what I played here. What's the winning continuation? Okay. The move in the question, well, the move I played is knight takes h7, and that's the best move as well. Congratulations to everyone who found that move. It took me, I mean, 3 seconds to find it, but the idea is quite simple. Getting rid of one attacker in front of, for one defender in front of the king. Other knight will join to g5, queen goes to h5, and that's GG's. King takes, knight g5 check, king goes up. I mean, if the king goes here, okay, a lot of discoveries. King goes here, probably getting checkmated somehow. I mean, I think h5 and you are getting checkmated very soon. There's bishop h3. Why is it not made? Yeah, it is made. Yes, bishop h3 is made. Yeah. So you are getting checkmated if your king goes out. And if you go back, which happened in the game after queen h5, it's already a double attack. Your knight doesn't have f6 square, which is very important. In generally in this type of cases, even though even that case after you take on f7 it's winning. But okay. Here is just devastation. Knight f8 to defend queen s7, but f7 hangs. Uh, Here I improvised a little bit of playing check and then taking the rook, so I can play this check, winning the bishop. And after bishop d7, check. And after king here, bishop to e4. Now I will play check again, followed by bishop s7 check, winning the game. There's no defense. Whatever you do, bishop s7 lands. And the continuation is actually quite nice. Only move is king f8, check, check, and another check, and now e6 hangs with check. If you go here, your bishop hangs, so you go up, but then this pawn hangs, check, and now bishop joins in with an attack, check. Only move is this, or you block with the knight, then queen takes, then another check followed by a checkmate. And what are these pieces doing? I mean, you just cannot play this against King's Indian, right? Alright, well, I hope you like this game. And if you want to see how I grow in this journey to 2400, first of all, and then hopefully to one of the world's best Blitz player, then stick around and subscribe. Well, till the next video, take care. Bye.